Good evening, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for joining me. I always appreciate you taking your time with me. Just start by to share a little bit updates on news. Uh, I will start with a video I got from, I think it's FANA Broadcasting Corporation, talking about Ethiopia government giving warning TPLF and TPLF affiliated media. So I will start with that one. In that video, also the government, pressuring Ethiopians uh, to force Oromo Liberation Army to come to the table, stop its operation, and to come to the table. So I will start with that one. So today is January the 19th, 2023. I have this update and other news. Thank you again for joining me. Let's start with this communication from Ethiopian government authority, seriously warning Tigrayan authorities and their media from talking about the war and its impact. Let's listen to it.
እና ጸባጫሪ መረጃዎች መቆጠብን በተመለከተ እስካሁን የተፈጠረ ችግር እንደሌለ አንስተው በህወሓት በኩል ግን የሚታዩ ስህተቶች እንዳሉ ተናግረዋል።
የአጎራባች የክልል የጸጥታ አካላትን ጨፍጫፊ አድርጎ የመግለጽ በትግራይ ክልል ውስጥ የተፈጸሙ ወንጀሎች ህወሓት ምንም አይነት እንደሌለበት የህወሓት ታጣቂዎች ንጹህ አድርጎ የሚያቀርብ በሌላ መልኩ ደግሞ የመንግስት የጸጥታ ኃይሎችን የሚኮንን መልእክት አዘል ጉዳዮች በተደጋጋሚ ሲተላለፉ እየተስተዋለ ነው። ይህ ከሰላም ስምምነቱ መርሆዎች ጋር የሚጋጭ እና ስምምነቱን በሙሉ ልብ ተግባራዊ ለማድረግ የተጀመሩ እንቅስቃሴዎች ላይ ጥላ እንዳያጠላ ከፍተኛ ጥንቃቄ ማድረግ ይገባል። ጉዳዩም ለሚመለከታቸው የህወሓት አመራሮች የማስተካከያ እርምጃ እንዲወስዱ በመንግስት በኩል የተገለጸላቸው በመሆኑ በቅርቡ እነዚህ ችግሮች ይስተካከላሉ ብለን እንጠብቃለን።
በአጠቃላይ በመላ ሀገሪቱ እየታየ ያለው የሰላም ሁኔታ ከፍተኛ ለውጥ የታየበት መሆኑን በማንሳት በተለይ በአማራና ቤንሻንጉል ጉሙዝ ክልል በትጥቅ ትግል ላይ የነበሩ አካላትን በሰላም ትጥቃቸውን እንዲፈቱ መደረጉን ተናግረዋል። በተፈጠረው ሰላምም ክልሎቹ ወደ ቀደመ እንቅስቃሴያቸው የተመለሱ ሲሆን ተጠቃሚ መሆን ጀምረዋልም ብለዋል። በኦሮሚያ ክልል የሸኔ ቡድን እያደረሰ ያለውን ጉዳትም ለመከላከል መንግስት የተቀናጀ እርምጃ እየወሰደ እንደሚገኝ በመግለጫው ተነስቷል።
የሽብር ቡድኑ በሀገሪቱ የተለያዩ አካባቢዎች ህገወጥ ታጣቂዎችን በማሰማራትና በማቀናጀት ከሌሎች የስጋት ኃይሎች ጋር ጥምረት በመፍጠር በንጹሃን ዜጎች ህይወት፣ ሀብትና ንብረት በመሰረተ ልማቶች ላይ የደቀነውን አደጋ ለመቀልበስ የተቀናጀ እርምጃ እየተወሰደ ይገኛል።
በክልሉ ያለው የጸጥታ ችግር በፖለቲካና የሰላም አማራጭ ለመፍታት መንግስት ጥረት ማድረጉን እንደሚቀጥል በማንሳትም ሁሉም ህብረተሰብ ግፊት እንዲያደርግም ጥሪ አቅርበዋል።
የፖለቲካና የሰላም አማራጮች የመጀመሪያ እርምጃ ተደርጎ በመንግስት በኩል ተወስዷል። ምክንያቱም መንግስት ምንጊዜም ችግሮችን በሰላማዊ አማራጭ ለመፍታት ቅድሚያ ይሰጣልና ነው። ከዚህ ቀደም ችግሮቹን በሰላማዊ አማራጭ ለመፍታት መንግስት ያደረገው ጥረት ያልተሳካው በዋነኛነት በሸኔ መሰረታዊ ችግር ምክንያት ነው። ሸኔ የሰላም ጥሪውን ተቀብሎ እኩይ እንቅስቃሴውን እንዲያቆምና የኦሮሞ ወጣት እልቂት ማብቂያ እንዲያገኝ መላው ህዝብ ግፊት ማድረግ አለበት።
Okay, so this is it's a serious announcement from this Dr. Leggasa Tulu, the face of Abiy Ahmed, and it's lack credibility. Mostly, we watched him in the past several communication taking. He was just giving Ethiopians and the global community misleading information hiding information. So he's not trustworthy anyway. And what he's saying now about Shane, which the government called Oromo Liberation Army, they're given this name. Oromo Liberation Army, didn't know or don't want to be called Shane. They don't recognize this name, but the government is using it in official communication, blaming them for all operations, military operations, and blacklisting them as a terrorist organization. But these fighters, Oromo liberation fighters, have the agenda, have clear objective in Oromia, and they are fighting. They are giving their lives for Oromos who are subjected or who have been subjected for various authorities, under Abiy Ahmed administration, whether by regional forces or the forces coming from another region, Amara Fano and Amara militia, plus the federal government. So they are subjected to very serious atrocities, displacement, burning of their properties, arbitrary detention, extrajudicial killings, all unaccounted. Nobody faced justice for all these crimes, and these crimes still continue under Abiy Ahmed administration. He came in 2018, giving all Ethiopians, including Oromos, the hope, the future, but all changed into death and destruction in that country, and it still continue in Oromia region. So this person is claiming, Dr. Legasa is claiming he offered, or the government believe in a peaceful resolution. How many times OLA call upon the Ethiopian government to settle, to sit down at the table and resolve the issue. But the government, the prime minister is saying something different, and this liar is saying something different. So I don't know which one is the correct one. Abiy Ahmed don't want to negotiate with OLA because he's claiming they have no leadership structure. They don't know whom they can talk to. And this guy say now he's offering a peaceful resolution and asking all Ethiopians to pressure OLA to come to the table, stop, their freedom movement. So I don't know if it's gonna work in such a way. But if they are ready for peaceful resolution, they can extend their call to OLA and their political leadership. Ethiopia is open for peaceful resolution, and we have assigned these individuals to deal with OLA. Just the same thing they did after 2 years of war in Tigray. So we don't think this is the truth announcement. This is just for propaganda purpose. So that's the other one is a very serious warning for Tigray media and the Tigray authorities to control, the media outlet, the propaganda. They say Ethiopia government or federal government control its part, and calling upon the Tigrayan government to do the same, to control the media outlet, and blaming the nearby regional government in Amara as genociders on Tigray media, and freeing the TPLF authorities and the Tigray force, letting them free in their media. They're just talking about not to mention or to silence the media, not to talk about the war impact, the genocide, the rapes, the atrocities, other atrocities carried out in Tigray, whether by Fano militia, Eritrean forces, by federal forces. They don't want to talk about it. The media or the Tigrayan authorities. They don't want. They want everything to be silenced, and they want to deny justice for the victims. And also in a previous in different media outlets, Ethiopian government is also pressuring the Tigray regional government not to cooperate with the UN three-person expert, not to cooperate. When you see all this announcement from the government and its action, all is to deny justice and to move forward without accountability. I don't think they will be successful, but it's a serious warning claiming it is a violation of Pretoria and the Nairobi Agreement. So we'll see where this warning is heading. Is it to spoil the peace agreement, or we don't know the intention, but this is a very serious warning. And again, if the government is serious, they should open all the doors for independent investigation in Tigray and other war-impacted areas. Silencing is not the solution. So can these leaders, individuals, for the regional forces, Eritrean government, they cannot be insulate themselves from criminal investigation. But they are trying. They are trying. They try to silence the media, silence the investigation. Forget about everything and let's move forward. I don't think it's going to work in that way. And the call for OLA to disarm and to engage with the federal government, I don't think that's a real call. It's a propaganda call. If they are really ready to engage with OLA, they can openly call for that, and there are structures to deal with that one. Okay, let's continue with other news, and I have several other videos, 3 or 4 videos I selected for you. Thank you again. Here we go. This one is about Ethiopia Federal Police boasting about the armor or the tank they got from Russia, boasting, showing off. Ethiopia Federal Police boasts first ever Russian-made BRDM-2 amphibious Scout car. So they are showing off in the completion of their training in Addis Ababa. The Ethiopian Federal Police said that for the first time it has taken possession of Russian-made BRDM-2 amphibious armored scout car that was acquired with the help of the federal government and the Chief of General Staff of the Federal Armed Forces. During a visit by a senior official, including Federal Police Commissioner General Damallash Gabra Mikael, to newly trained commando units and a member of anti-riot police forces who took part in the training conducted in the capital Addis Ababa. The federal police further said that it has also acquired possession of modern new weapons and police gears, as well as various types of police vehicles. During the visit, the new trainees demonstrated to the senior leaders the training they have been conducting with the new BRDM-2 armored scout cars and the new modern weapons. Commissioner General Demalash has expressed his gratitude to the Chief of General Staff of the Federal Armed Forces, Field Marshal Branu Jula, and the Defense Engineering Industry Corporation for the support, according to the news. The federal police also said that in order to safeguard the peace and the security of the country and the people, by it's using mobile and fixed security cameras. So they are just, announcing their first arrival of BRDM, Russian-made tanks. So they have the videos. No, I have the pictures, and if you check at this standard, you will see those tanks and those newly trained police forces. This is from U.S. State Department, from Anthony J. Blinken, Secretary of State. Is about the tragedy happened, I think, yesterday. The tragedy took the lives of senior Ukrainian officials plus children. Let me read what it says. I was deeply saddened to hear the terrible news from Brovary, Ukraine. On behalf of the United States, I offer my sincere condolences to the family and the loved ones of all of those killed in the helicopter crash, including our friends, Minister of Internal Affairs, Denis Monastyrsky, First Deputy Minister, Yevhen Yanin, and State Secretary Yuri Lubkovich. We mourn this heartbreaking death, a tragic loss beyond words. The United States offers our support and solidarity to Ukraine's Ministry of Internal Affairs, which has been a close partner for many years. Our thoughts are with our friends who are grieving their loss. Now and always, the United States is committed to standing with Ukraine in its hour of need. So that is from U.S. State Department. In this plane crash, it's an accident, not foul play, but they are still investigation. So they say 14 people killed, including the senior officials I mentioned, and also 11 children injured. This one is launch of Welcome Corp, private sponsorship of refugees. This is giving private institutions, private companies to sponsor refugees into the United States. So the government, welcoming that kind of opportunities and advising, guiding those universities, business owners, church leaders, plus others to give the opportunity for new immigrants all over the world, to welcome them, help them to settle here. Let me read what it says. This is also from U.S. State Department, Anthony J. Blinken, Secretary of State. The Department of State, in collaboration with the Department of Health and Human Service, is announcing the Welcome Corps, a new private sponsorship program that will enable Americans to sponsor refugees arriving through the U.S. Refugee Admission Program, USRAP, directly support their settlement and make a difference by welcoming these new neighbors into their communities. This program invites Americans to be partners and guides to refugees as they build new lives in the United States and help them realize their full potential. The Welcome Corps in the boldest innovation in refugee resettlement in 4 decades. It is designed to strengthen and expand the capacity of the USRAP by harnessing the energy and the talents of Americans from all walks of life, desiring to serve as private sponsors, ranging from members of faith and civic groups, veterans, diaspora communities, businesses, colleagues, and universities, and more. In the program's first year, our goal is to mobilize at least 10,000 Americans to step forward as a private sponsors and offer a welcoming hand to at least 5,000 refugees from around the world. The Welcome Corps will build on the extraordinary response of the American people over the past year in welcoming our Afghan allies, Ukrainian displaced by war, Venezuelans, and others fleeing violence and oppressions. In the face of unprecedented global displacement, the United States will continue to lead the international community in humanitarian response, including refugee settlement. By launching the Welcome Corps, we build on a proud tradition of providing refugee and demonstrate the spirit and generosity of the American people as we commit to welcoming refugees in need of our support. For more information on the Welcoming Corps or how to become a private sponsor, visit Welcome Corps website. So that is giving the chance, giving opportunities for refugees who are facing oppression or displacement around the political threats around the world. And so if you know an institution, universities, colleges, or business owners, religious institution, you can inform them, or if you have yourself have a capacity to sponsor immigrants, please do it. Give them the opportunity we are enjoying in the United States. Some of them living in terror, fear, like the protesters in Iran. They cannot even protest peacefully. They will be slaughtered by the Iranian government within a very short period of time, within 2 months of trial. That's a crime. That's a crime against humanity. We all should rise up against it. It's a slaughter just for protesting the government policy or the killing of the lady about the traditional hijab. So that's excessive crime happening in Iran, elsewhere in the wherever the humanitarian or man-made crisis. Please try to give them the opportunity to come over here, enjoy American dream like us. Give them the opportunity if you have the capacity. So that's the message from U.S. State Department for all business owners, religious institutions, you know, universities and colleges plus others. Okay, let's continue with a video. The first one is about Epiphany or Timkat celebration in Ethiopia. Timkat is, you know, well celebrated starting yesterday and today in Ethiopia, and I also wish them a happy holiday for those celebrating Timkat. They are forcefully showing up, their enjoyment, their coordination, and the unity at this time, despite several challenges from Abiy Ahmed and prosperity officials. So let's continue with that one and finish up.
Aboard canoes, motorboats, and kayaks fashioned from papyrus stems, the faithful converge on a lake in central Ethiopia to celebrate the Orthodox holiday of Epiphany, known locally as Timkat. Our wish is to become like Gondar. Before, there were only a few people, but now people are coming from different directions, making it closer to Gondar. We also work to improve in the future. Shaken economically by the COVID-19 pandemic and 2 years of destructive war in Ethiopia's north, tourism remains a source of hope for many looking ahead to a brighter future.
Yeah, bringing back tourism is very important because due to different reasons, the tourism industry have been affected, as obviously known. First was COVID, and then the security situation has been not good. Now it improved, security improved. COVID has created us a new normal. So we want to be resilient within the new normal. And also the security has improved. So now the tourism industry will take off. So we are ready for that.
From the islands, the priests boarded boats laden with crosses and other icons and journeyed to the center of the lake, where they performed rites surrounded by the faithful. The festivities began Wednesday afternoon as high priests of the church departed from monasteries situated on 5 of the lake's island, flanked by clergy draped in red, blue, white, and gold. Makeshift camps like these have become common in southern Somalia. Years of drought and insecurity have forced roughly 3 million people out of their homes. Bundobo is one of them. She lives in Baidoa district, where stories of desperation are often shared.
For 3 years now, we've struggled with these droughts. We lost all our livestock. We've gone hungry with no food or means of transportation.
People walked for days to reach the camps, hoping for relief and humanitarian assistance. Most families here eat one donated meal a day. There's concern widespread malnutrition could fuel disease outbreaks.
Children who are exposed to malnutrition have less ability to fight off infections, and for chronic malnutrition, they also miss their development milestones.
The World Health Organization has launched initiatives to educate the community. It's distributing vaccines for polio, measles, and cholera, but the job can be overwhelming.
Most of the people here have been pushed out of the villages because of dire living conditions. There was a recurrent measles outbreak in this area, so people have been quite happy to receive the vaccines.
Faced with the worst drought in 40 years, there is concern extreme weather conditions could make things worse for the most vulnerable. Katia Lopez-Odoyan, Al Jazeera.
All right, boss, these are the top-of-the-line business phone systems we can choose from. Each comes with voice, video, and texting capabilities.
Thanks, Jared. So I can see all of my...
Ukraine is in need of more weapons and more military hardware. The war-ravaged country's Western backers are to meet later this week in Germany to discuss ways to meet Ukraine's needs in its fight against Russia. NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos on Wednesday, said the only way to a negotiated peace is to give Ukraine support.
Weapons, they are the way to peace, and that may sound like a paradox, but the only way to have a negotiated agreement is to convince President Putin that he will not win on the battlefield.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is key to the supply of modern Leopard 2 tanks, top of Ukraine's wish list. Scholz has veto power over any decision to send the German-made military vehicle tanks. It's now being reported he will allow their exports to Ukraine if the United States agrees to send its own tanks. At Davos, he strongly underlined Germany's support for Ukraine.
We will continue to do this as long as necessary. And whilst we are doing this and showing that the Ukrainians can rely on our support for their courageous fight, it is also clear that we will avoid that this is becoming a war between Russia and NATO.
The supply of tanks is said to be the top of the agenda at Friday's meeting of the so-called Ukrainian contact group at Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Donors of military aid to Ukraine are meeting in Estonia today.
It's hard to miss the signs of history marked throughout Springfield, Illinois, the capital of the state that launched the political careers of U.S. Presidents Abraham Lincoln and Barack Obama.
It is surreal, to know that Abraham Lincoln was in the same position as me.
As Nabila Syed takes her first steps on the floor of the Illinois House of Representatives, history is very much on her mind.
Our tour guide said that he actually took a picture of Barack Obama in the same exact place that me and my family were posing. So to think about the history that is just in Springfield that exists here, and the history that we're contributing, it's an incredible feeling.
Syed and her colleague Abdel Nasser Rashid, both Democrats, are now making their own history in the 103rd legislative session in Illinois.
Abdel Nasser Rashid,
as the first Muslim American lawmakers elected to the state house.
I think considering that Illinois has the highest per capita population of Muslims, I do wish it happened sooner.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Syed defeated an incumbent Republican to win her suburban Chicago district in November.
Not only am I a Democrat, but I'm a hijab-wearing Muslim Indian American woman. So, our values, the way that we communicate our message, the way we engage our community went beyond those things that people consider to be obstacles, and we flipped our district.
At 23, Syed is among the youngest women ever elected to the Illinois House. She begins her term in the chamber led by the first black speaker, with the first female House Republican leader, and the largest Asian American caucus in the General Assembly.
As the first Palestinian elected to the legislature and as one of two Muslims, I also carry the voices of so many people who have been marginalized and have been yearning for representation.
Northern Illinois University political science professor Kikiyu Hamiyotsu says that diversity matters beyond skin color.
It is more about perspectives and strategies and position. That's why I think that they got the support from the broader community, not only Muslim population now.
And that Rashid and Syed won their races on issues beyond their identities.
The things and the policies they talked about are more about imminent, important issues such as reproductive health, abortion law, and etc. And also gender issue, religious freedom, at the time when religious conservatism is rising to influence politics.
The lesson of my election, Nabila's election, and so many more, it's not just Muslims, it's folks like Han Nguyen, a Vietnamese refugee who was elected, people like Sharon Chung, a Korean American who was elected. The number of people who are in the Illinois legislature reflective of the diversity of our state. This is something that we should take pride in and something that we should embrace.
Rashid and Syed's election victories were critical in giving Democrats their largest House majority in state history.
Our democracy is composed of us, and we're contributing to making America amazing.
Kane Fairbaugh, VOA News, Springfield, Illinois.
Okay, these are the videos I selected for today's update. So we appreciate those Muslim Americans or Korean Americans or refugees or families of refugees or children of refugees taking on this tough job. We should encourage them. We are proud of them, and very important. Very important. We should not just stay around housekeeping or room service or honor bar or just small apples. We should go for higher standard. Nothing wrong by being in housekeeping, but I'm talking about the roles we can play on those challenging jobs in a very tough decision making in the United States. So especially I encourage children of refugee families to go for higher political positions, to be a senator, to be a president, to be congressman, local governors, because these things impact our daily life and that, our policy with other countries. For example, if we have more Palestinians in decision making, we can resolve Israeli-Palestinian issue within 1 year. I'm telling you, within 1 year, by just pressuring Israel to have some kind of deal with Palestinians instead of watching the continuation of bloodshed in that region. That's one. We have so many issues: abortion, Obamacare, so many other issues, and very important for minorities. So it's a long way to go in all the states, not only in Illinois, all the states. We need more immigrants and children of immigrants to take part, and also all minorities, African Americans, Asian Americans, Korean Americans, Ethiopian Americans, Somali Americans, all they should continue their journey until they reach a very decisive vote, whether in Senate or in White House, plus other positions in this country. This is a new reality. This is a new America. So it's coming slowly, but still far away to make tough decision or a policy change in this country. We are Americans, and we are not bound to work only in housekeeping, on a restaurant, or lower jobs. We are under no restriction as long as our record is clear, as long as we have the support of the communities. We can make a change. We can make a change on American policies. So congratulate all the Muslim Americans in Illinois for achieving this high milestone. So let me conclude by saying this. The war in Oromia region is a very, very tough one. It's not like the war in Tigray. It should be settled, intelligently, with careful consideration, with an immediate call for peaceful resolution. If not, the chaos will reach the capital city. Is not the one, taking 2 years or more in Tigray. The Tigray forces came all the way to Debre Brahan. Then they gave up for some reason we don't know, returned to their barracks, and they paid heavy price for that instead of going to capital city Addis Ababa and remove those liars those playing by Ethiopian bloods, and those who are saying, doing everything illegal, killing, detention, all kind of stuff. But they did tough decision. They went back, they paid the price, and they make us pay the price too. So the Oromia region and the issue with OLA should be open to the public. The Ethiopian government should clearly say we are ready for a peaceful resolution, and these individuals are ready to engage with OLA forces. So if they say that, the issue with OLA will be resolved through peaceful resolutions, through peaceful engagement. If not, that will be a terrible decision for federal government and those who are supporting the federal government. It's a big mistake. It's going to create a very dangerous situation in Ethiopia for all the international communities to engage with Ethiopia. It's not an easy one. So all of us, US, European Union, UN, African Union, should pressure Prosperity Party to end this bloodshed, to engage with OLA on the table and settle the issue. That's all I'm going to say for today. I will be back with other news and update. Thank you for joining me. So long, everyone.